Hey everyone, it's Michelle Bazinet here, independent consultant, executive regional vice president. Hope you guys are having a great night and had a great weekend. And I thank you for listening to this training on the fortune is in the follow-up. So we're going to start off, and I want to show you a really interesting chart with some stats of what happens when it's some sales statistics in regards to follow-up. Now, this may surprise you. 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and then they stop and never follow up again. 12% only make 3 contacts and stop. Only 10% make more than 3. 2% of sales are made on the first contact, 3% on the second, 5% on the third, 10% on the fourth, and guys, 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. And I want you to think about that. I want you to really just sit and take in those numbers, especially if you've been in Arbonne for a bit and you have been reaching out to people and you've been asking people, how many times have you asked them? Majority of the time, people will ask once, and if the person says no, they do not follow up and never ask again. Never ask again, because they think a no is no forever. One of the really challenging things that I do when I'm really working and coaching and training people is to really have them just believe and understand and trust that a no just means not right now, and it doesn't mean a no forever. My personal belief is that every single person that I speak to about our product or business will eventually be a part of my business at some point in my career. My career in Arbonne is forever. I am doing this until the day I die. So there's lots of time for that no to transition into a yes. But I am 100% confident that people will transition from a no to a yes. So I'm going to go through some different ways of follow-up. We're going to talk about following up with product, following up with our business opportunity, and how to follow up with people if they haven't been responding to you. So the first one is product follow-up. So if you have somebody who has purchased product from you, I want you to think of this system called 2x2x2. So you're going to follow up with them 2 days after they place their order, 2 weeks after they place that order, and then 2 months. Okay, so what do we do on each of these follow-ups? So on the 2-day follow-up, they place the order, let's just say it's Sunday. They place an order today on Sunday. I'm going to follow up with them on Tuesday because I want to make sure that they've received their product, or at least received a shipping notification, or wanted to just touch base with them to stay connected with them about the product and give good customer care. Guys, we are independent consultants. We consult people. We take care of them. So we want to really make sure that our customers feel valued and that they feel well taken care of. So in 2 days, I'm going to connect with my customer and just check in to see if they've received their product. In 2 weeks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch base to see how things are going with the product. Have they started using it? If they have they started seeing any results? Do they have any questions? What do they love the most? So this way, in the 2 weeks, the customer doesn't feel like they placed an order, you received a commission, and your job is just done, right? Take care of your customers, touch base. Maybe they haven't started using it because they had a few questions but just didn't take the time or to reach out to you, or they're a little too shy to reach out to you. So you can help them get through whatever it is that they're going through for whatever reason they're not using the product yet. Or if they have any concerns about the product, or maybe they're having questions about it, it's just a great opportunity for them to connect with you. And then in 2 months, you're just going to do a touch base with them and just see if there's anything that they need. Just make sure that everything's going well. And if they have any more questions, you're there to answer them as well, because you want to be providing really, really great value. Guys, these touch points can be done via the phone, text, email, whatever method you are most comfortable with. I will never tell you which method has to be used, because I would rather you text someone than me tell you to phone them and you never phone because you're afraid of the phone. So if texting is your comfort level, then text them. If email's your comfort level, then email them. So that's what we would do for product follow-up. One really important thing that I want you to think about, and I want you to always remember and keep in the back of your mind, is how can you add value to your customer? I was doing some research tonight on sales statistics, and there were some great articles out there just talking about how corporations and companies are really focusing on great customer care and adding and providing value to customers, because there's a lot of competition out there, right? So what is going to make your customer, your preferred customer, stay with you, as opposed to signing up with the next person that they find out who does Arbonne, or signing up with someone to buy product from another company, right? People will do business with people they know, like, and trust. So be mindful that you want to add value and continue to build a relationship with your customers. Because on a side note, a lot of consultants were customers first, right? So that building the relationship with them is super important, right? Because your preferred customer can transition into a consultant. So how do you communicate with your customers? Is it by text? Is it through Facebook? Is it phone calls? Is it email? Do you send them emails? And then, guys, I hear this all the time, and I want to just see, you know, and if you are the kind of person who does this, and if you are, you know, I give you credit, and I want you to acknowledge that it's amazing that you are sending emails and you are connecting in with your customers. But I want to see if you can take things to the next level. So do you just send them emails about ordering, or do you send them emails with valuable content? So what I mean by that is, I hear a lot of times, you know, I sent an email out to my customers asking if anybody wants to order, and it's crickets. I don't hear anything. And then, so when I hear that, I think, okay, how would I feel being on the other side of that email? How would it feel if the only time you heard from your consultants was them asking, do you want to order something? Because what does it seem like to the customer? That the consultant is looking to get some volume, earn commission, or there may be some incentive they're going for, and they need my order for that. So instead, can you consider continuing to send those if that's what you feel like, you know, you still like to do, but also do periodic emails that provide some valuable content to your customers. Whether you find a really cool article on skincare, or on weight loss, or on healthy living, or even it's just a, hey, I was just thinking about you. I thought I would send you a quick email to say, I hope you're doing well. Some kind of connection email, some kind of value added message. So I really want you guys to think about that when you're communicating with your customers, and just really giving great customer care, but also providing some value as well. So in regards to any kind of follow-up, one key to follow-up is if you are having an interaction with the customer, if you're prospecting someone, you did a one-on-one, you're getting them some product to try, or you did a one-on-one to talk to someone about the business, the one thing I want you to remember at that meeting is to make sure that you have the next meeting scheduled on your calendar before you leave. This is so important for a few reasons. Number one, it's important for your own sanity. Because what happens once you leave that meeting is you spend the next week wondering, should I message her? Do you think it's time? Has it been enough time? Has she tried the product? You know, has she had an opportunity to look over the business information? I don't want to seem pushy, and all of this chatter goes on in your mind. But if you had a time and date set when you leave that appointment, you don't have to spend any time thinking about when should you follow up with them, because you have your date on that calendar, right? Free your mind so you can work on other important things. So never leave any appointment, even if it's a phone call. Never leave a phone call without the next date set on the calendar with that person. Because the most beautiful thing is you've established with them, I'm going to be touching base with you. And the easiest line to use, and this is a line that I always use, is I'm following up with you because I said I would, right? I said I would. I'm being a professional. I said I would follow up. And that's why I'm following up, right? It just gave me permission to follow up. So that's a big tip I want you guys to remember. So let's talk on one-on-one. So if you are doing a one-on-one with someone and you are leaving them with a gold bag to take home, what I would recommend is have a follow-up set for 5 to 7 days prior to your meeting. So schedule it on the calendar before you leave, so you can pick up your gold bag and answer any questions, concerns, and your hesitations. So what I would say to someone is, So after I, explain to them about using the product and they're going to take it home and all that, I would say to them, okay, so what's your schedule like in the next week? Because we need to meet, we need to connect, I need to pick up my product. And I'd love to just go over any questions, concerns, or hesitations that you have. So I do this, whether I'm sharing just the product or I'm sharing the product in the business. Tip here, I always share the business when I'm sharing product. Okay, so that's a big, big tip, is you want to make sure you talk a little bit about our business. If you're not leaving a gold bag and you left someone with a sample, you want to still set that date and time for the next follow-up. So you're giving them some samples, whether it's skincare or nutrition, and you can say to them, so when do you think you will have tried these by? And try to get a commitment from them. So if it is Monday and I'm meeting with someone and they're going to try some product, when do you think we'll try these by? I'll try them by Friday. Awesome. So if I follow up with you Friday at 3 to find out what you love the most, and if you have any questions, concerns, or hesitations, would that be okay with you? And the follow-up is set and determined. Okay, that follow-up can be in person or on the phone, however it works for you when you're not having to actually physically get something back. I love in-person personally, because I feel like if there are concerns and questions, it just gives you a little bit more time to kind of dive into what the hesitations are, and then you can speak to those hesitations. Okay, so that's just my preference. But guys, with our world today of technology, you can do it Zoom, face-to-face. I still feel like I'm doing a coffee date when I can see someone. But if the phone is what works, then please do the phone. So prospecting follow-up. So prospecting meaning you're reaching out, like you're behind your computer or you're behind your phone and you're reaching out to people to have them take a look at our business. So here's some tips on follow-up. So you reach out to someone to take a look at Arbonne, and you ask them if they'd be willing to watch a video. So something that you can say to them. I'm not going to go through all of the asking because we've done training on asking. But a question you can say to them is, would you be open to a side income if it didn't interfere with what you currently did? So if they say, what is this? Sure. If I sent you a video, would you take a look? And they say yes. So what you want to do when you send the video is you want to ask them, just like when you gave them the sample, when do you think you'll be able to watch this by? And if they say, I should be able to watch it by Thursday. Okay, so Thursday at 7 o'clock. If I follow up with you, it's Thursday at 7, you would have watched the video. They will say yes. Okay, I'm going to follow up with you Thursday at 7 because I'd love to hear what you love the most and just see if you have any questions, concerns. Okay, so it's a great way to take them into that next step. So the follow-up is established. So if you do not follow up, you look unprofessional, and we are all professionals. So we follow up at Thursday at 7 o'clock because we said we would. Just touching base with you because I told you I would. I'd love to hear what you love the most about the video, right? So preferably this isn't just you checking in on Thursday at 7. It's a phone conversation or an online Zoom follow-up. Okay, so if you ask someone to try the product, this is just through Messenger or text or even a phone call. If they say yes, you're going to arrange a date to drop it off. Once you complete the drop-off, just like your one-on-one, have a date set to pick up the product before you leave. That is huge. If you ask about anything and they say no for whatever reason, ask if you can follow up with them in a few months. This is so important, guys. This has been so beneficial for me, and this has worked well for me. I have never, ever, 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 ever had someone say no to this. So if they say no to Arbonne, now's not the right time, I'm not interested in product, totally cool. I get it, it's not the right time, or whatever it is that I say, small talk. I will say, would it be okay with you if I touch base with you in a few months? I like to get really, I like to connect with people. So what I tend to say, this may be a little long-winded, but what I tend to say is, would it be okay if I touch base with you in a few months? I know it's not the right time for you now, but in my experience with Arbonne, things change with people. So if I touch base with you in a few months, is that okay? And if in a few months it's still a no, what we can do is we can just touch base in a few months from then, right? And no one has ever said no. So when they say sure, so what I do is I will go a few months ahead in my calendar and I'll write that person's name down to follow up with them. And now I can take their name out of my head and not have to think about anything. and I can focus on all the other people I'm prospecting. And then when I get to that day in my calendar, I can reach out to them and say, hey, how's it going? I'm checking in because I said I would. Is now a better time? If it's still a no, then would it be okay with you if I touch base with you in a few months? Take their name out of my head, put it in the calendar, and I just keep repeating that. Okay, so I hope that helps. So just wanted to review this again, and I want you guys to really just take a look at this before we get off this training on follow-up. You know, even if you can screenshot this, save it to your phone, you know, really put it somewhere so you can remind yourself of what it takes for someone to actually say yes. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. That is so true, guys. And if you are stopping at the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, and 4th, you're missing out on so much. So really trusting this system, trusting the psychology or whatever it is that happens with people when they're being asked to purchase or to join, it takes time. And if you are in this business forever, right? If you said yes to Arbonne, most of the time people don't say yes, you know, just to do this business for 2 years and then quit. Their intention is to do this business and to stay in this business. It doesn't always happen, but that's the intention when we join. So if you are in this business until you retire, who cares if we do 8 to 10 follow-ups, right? We have lots of time to do those follow-ups. And if it takes 8 to 10 to actually get a yes, then isn't it worth it, right? So let's have patience, let's be professional, let's follow up with people, and just trust the process. So I hope this training has helped. And like I said, save that little stats and put it somewhere where you'll see it so you can remind yourself of what it takes to how many opportunities and exposures it really takes before someone says yes. So thanks for listening, guys. Take care.